Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. We're here at Mandalay Bay Convention Center with Alex Singleton, outside linebacker for the Denver Broncos, on behalf of Special Olympics. Thanks so much for the time. We were just asking, how are you going to watch the Super Bowl? You said like everybody else.
Yeah, at home with a beer.
There you go. You earned a couple.
Some popcorn and chips,
Now, it's, probably a little painful, and I don't want to go to a sore spot that the Kansas City Chiefs are here, one of your division rivals. When you play against Patrick Mahomes, what do you consider a good day when you play against him? What do you consider successful from the defensive side about playing him, stopping him? How do you measure it?
Well, we played them this year, and they crossed the 50-yard line one time and didn't score a touchdown. So that would be a successful day, I would say, against anybody. But, playing them, he's a special player. And it's really, I've played him 6-7 times in my career now. And, I mean, he's one of the greatest of all time. And it's taking away the rest of the offense and, making him improvise. And, he's so good at it. It's just he's a really special player.
How has the Chiefs' offense changed in those 6 games you've seen? I mean, it's different this year.
Yeah, They did, early in the season, they lost a ton of speed at receiver. I think you saw it, that they were missing that key element to their offense. I think they found it in Rice over the last few weeks. And, he's really stepped up as a rookie to, be able to play the way he has. But I think for so much of the season, they didn't have anybody else but Travis Kelce. And so, I think their defense has played tremendous this season. It's the reason they're in the position they're in. And then, obviously their run game was a lot better this year than it has been in the past. It hasn't just been on Patrick Mahomes this whole season. I think that's why it is special to see where they're at, because it wasn't just him that got them here this time.
We're talking with Alex Singleton. He's a linebacker for the Denver Broncos on behalf of Special Olympics, which is very close to your heart, and we'll get to that in just a moment. One more Chiefs one. I'm not trying to torture you here. We just really want the information, which is you mentioned about Mahomes and Kelce after all these years still improvising. I mean, how do you stop? How is Kelce still open after all these years?
Yeah, we like to say they just play backyard football. It's just kind of, he'll run his initial route, and they just have that chemistry where they've been playing together now for, however many years it's been, to where, hey, I'm covered here, I'm going to roll out this way. And Kelce just knows to kind of find those spots, and, they find it. And they're okay with just gaining 7-8 yards, a play and just walking down the field, because they're able to do that. And, and then one big play, one guy misses a tackle on Kelce because he's a big tight end, and all of a sudden, it's a 35-yard gain when it should have been a sack or, an incomplete pass, something like that. And they're just so good at, being able to do that throughout a game.
Okay, there's a lot of fascination in Denver with Sean-Payton, first year there. We were wondering, as a defensive player, how much do you see Sean-Payton during the week? Does he get involved? Does he come into meetings? Or is he, obviously an offensive genius? Is that where most of his week, daily grind is?
Yeah, he's definitely with the offense all the time, but he knows all the defensive stuff. I think, a great head coach is always a guy that, like, in practice will kind of just ask you a question about the defense, and you're like, how do you know that? It's just kind of like something, and you can tell it, it might not be every single nut and bolt that we have on defense he knows, but it's very much like, hey, I know you guys are doing this week to stop this. What are you thinking when it gets to this situation? You're kind of like, oh, so you do watch it. So
yeah.
You definitely know that, he's on top of it all, and, everybody wants to play, pretty good for that guy.
Alex Singleton is joining us. He's a linebacker for the Denver Broncos. He's here on behalf of Special Olympics, and we'll get to that in a moment. So the change in coaching staff, I mean, rather stark, I would imagine, but from the insider's view, how are things different from Hackett to Sean-Payton?
Yeah, it was Hackett's first time being a head coach, so he kind of, was kind of learning as he went. I thought he was a great coach. I love Coach Hackett. Still talk to Coach Hackett, but yeah, Sean-Payton kind of, knows exactly what he wants. He's from that Bill Parcells coaching tree, to where, like, they just have everything they want. Every speech they're going to have, every team meeting is going to be a certain way. Every picture in the building is put there for a reason. Like a lot of people just put motivational pictures, just, kind of
win the day.
Yeah, and you don't know why it's there, and
right.
They don't know why it's there. But Sean-Payton, I think, could sit here and tell you exactly in our building where every picture is and why it's there.
What are the pictures? What are we talking about?
Walk
us through the hallway.
The worst part is, I don't read them all every day.
Oh no! Give us one.
There is some Bill Parcells quotes.
Players, or just pictures of motivational stuff?
Like motivational stuff. There's players. There's the player pictures on the walls.
Sure.
I don't know if he picks those ones. Just the motivational ones. like the three enemies is like, obviously it's yourself, the media, and then your opponent, and just
Wait,
those
what?
things.
What was that?
Enemies. Oh no.
They can be.
They're the second enemy. They're ahead of the opponent.
Well,
We're
it's
nestled
just,
right between the opponent and
nestled.
yourself.
Sean Payton was in the media
I
for
know.
a year.
Hey, we asked the same question.
Oh, that's amazing.
Can I ask, as an Eagles fan, a former coach, you had Nick Sirianni,
Mm-hmm.
right? He's much different style than what you described. I've seen videos of behind the scenes kind of he just kind of relates to players. How would you compare those two as head coaches?
I would say Sean relates really well to players. It's like what you get from Sean in the media and how he reacts to them is way different than you get as a coach.
Okay.
And which I think is really, really cool. Obviously, he's not as open as everyone being in it like, Sirianni is, and even Doug Peterson was when I was in Philly. But, yeah, very different coaching style.
Yeah.
I would say a more relaxed style. I think, Sean Payton's very the old school. We did as much as we could to, like, almost be two-a-days.
Oh,
as you
wow.
could. But,
Right up to the line,
and
sure.
I know the Eagles, it's like 2 days on, 2 days off during camp right now. So, it's just two different philosophies. A lot of people would say, Sirianni's player friendly, but I would say Sean Payton also is. So it's just different versions,
Well,
getting to the same place.
I don't know. As a fan, I kind of want the two-a-days.
Because you're not doing the work.
Yeah, because I'm not doing the work. Exactly.
That's fair.
Alex Singleton is here. He's a linebacker for the Denver Broncos, of course, and he's here on behalf of Special Olympics, which we'll get to. I know, there's going to be the offense on one side and the defense on the other on a team, but when it comes to the quarterback, I'm sure everyone's kind of in the loop. This was a roller coaster a little bit with Russell Wilson and how things kind of became public at the end about, asking him to take a cut to his injury guarantees and then eventually getting benched. You're playing on the defensive side, but were you always wondering week to week, who's starting this week? Was there ever confusion about was it Russ or was it going to be Jarrett Stidham?
No, what's nice is, like Sean Payton's just very transparent. He just kind of says it like it is. So when, that did happen, he came in our, defensive meeting room and just, said it. He was like, Jarrett Stidham's going to start this week. It's a decision I made. And that was it. And, very professional about it. And, it's to the point. And I think, Russell's very professional about it. Jarrett's very professional about it. So it wasn't, in our locker room, there wasn't any of that, back and forth. The stuff that was going on. And, I don't know. I know Russell said, what he did, and, that if that's what they, were trying to do, that's what they were trying to do. And,
right.
It's kind of, for us, especially as a defense, it is what it is. Someone's got to play the position. We need someone to play the position. We just want to win football games, and we're going to give whoever it is as many opportunities to get the football as we can.
There were times in Denver, you didn't say this, that it seemed like the defense was carrying the team. We hear frustration. Is there ever a time as defense where you sat there and be like, oh, come on, guys, we are just doing everything we can to win this game? And it was tough at times in Denver.
Yeah, I would say, I think as a whole, and I've kind of said this, throughout this season, is that in Denver, for us it was learning how to win and not lose. And I think that, that might have attributed to it, but I came in when Russell came in, so I didn't know any different.
Yeah.
And I was with, Russell for a cup of coffee in Seattle on practice squad in 2015. So, I know the player he is. So I 100%, believe and still do believe in the player, he is. And so there was never that time for me. But, I think just losing in general gets frustrating. But
Sure.
So it was just finding ways to win. And, we were able to do that this year. So to, whoever the quarterback's going to be next year, to be able to just kind of carry that over and, push us to that next level would be huge.
Alex Singleton joining us, Denver Broncos linebacker on behalf of Special Olympics. We'll get to that last one on Russ. Scale of 1 to 10, 1 not shocked, 10 hair on fire shocked, if Russ is starting week 1 for the Broncos next year.
I mean, I don't know, 2 or 3. 4.
Okay, so not shocked.
Just.
So it can be salvaged between him and Sean.
Yeah, and that's, I think a lot of that is them. I think, like I said, they're both very professional about it. So whatever's going on behind closed doors, a lot of guys don't know. And that's, that's their business. It is a business, and it's a big money business, and they're both big money. So they're gonna figure it out, and it's way above my pay grade. So whoever's
your
there,
pay
I'm gonna
grade's
play
not
for.
bad, Alex.
No,
thank you
not
so
upset.
much. Yeah, right. Not bad. This is personal. This is your sister, who is an athlete, a Special Olympic athlete. You get involved in this. What does this mean to you that she has this type of platform and outlet to live her dreams?
Yeah, for me, I started obviously as a fan. My older sister's been a participant for 25 years, so I started as a fan, then a volunteer, then a coach, and then an ambassador now to Special Olympics. And it's really cool to be able to use the platform I have to bring Special Olympics to that platform, bring athletes like Vince, who I get to walk around with today, and give this opportunity to share it with, and be able to use that and talk about what we're promoting today.
Tell us more about that and what it gives to these athletes.
Yeah, so it's a nutrition campaign called School of Strength Snack Zone, and it's teaching not just Special Olympic athletes, but I think everybody how to eat properly, be fueled properly, all that stuff. 60% of the Special Olympics population is obese or overweight, which when you hear that statistic, it's like, whoa,
wow.
Like someone's got to do something. And the fact that Special Olympics is able to do this campaign, it teaches the basics of how to eat properly and correct nutrition, which for me as a pro athlete, it took me 6 years as a professional athlete to kind of learn how to eat. I didn't care when I was 18, 19, 20, 21 how to eat. Nobody does. And by the time you're 26, 27, it might have caught up to you, and now you're just in a struggle the rest of your life on how to do it. And so that's what this program's for, is to teach teens and 20 and 30-year-old participants how to eat properly. It goes from the basics, from the macronutrients, from protein, carbohydrates, and fats, from handfuls of how much, measuring just from your hand, your palm to your thumb on what you should have on your plate for every meal. And I think just you being able to teach those simple, basic ways of understanding food is really important.
Give us, hey, we want some tips. What's the key trick that we don't know that football players do about diet? Give us something. What's my superfood?
I think the super is, I think it's protein. And I'm a big protein guy, but what's nice is everyone is an athlete. I think everyone's body can be used, and that's what Special Olympics, gives participants is you get to be an athlete your entire life. Like my sister, I'll never be able to catch up to what she's accomplished in sports. I can only play football for so long, but Special Olympics, if she stays healthy, and she can play and participate till she's in her 90s. And so
Great.
For her to learn these healthy habits that are huge, and a lot of them I learned from doing this campaign, just from when we were filming, I got to just like pour Doritos and stuff just all over my face while we ate it. But then it's like we turn around and it's like, all right, you're gonna take a thumb thing of peanut butter, you're gonna get a handful of carrots, and then just because for carbs you can do a palm's worth of chips, and it's like that's okay to have as a snack. And so to be able to just kind of learn that and see that was really helpful
Alex,
for me.
I'm not going to lie. We're having some trouble keeping it healthy in Vegas. I think, our lifestyles are taking a dip right now. I don't know if you're following all your rules this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can go to, you got two different websites if you want more information. You've got specialolympics.org/snack-zone. That website launches in February. And then you've got February 7th. It is February 7th.
It started today, so they can go on today.
There you go.
You're here. It's today. I don't know what date it is. It's February 7th.
Yeah, it's one of those days.
Specialolympics.org/School of Strength is where you can also find more information. Great work you're doing with this program. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you,
Alex
guys.
Singleton of the Denver Broncos. We're back with more Maggie and Perloff in just moments.